Grand Rising, my loves. What is fear? Fear is false evidence appearing real. So, what does that mean? That means that we often speak fear into our lives without even realizing it. We worry about things that haven't happened. We worry about getting sick. We worry about not being able to pay our bills. We worry about the state of the world, quite frankly. And when we have fear, it takes dominion over our lives. It takes control over our lives. And so then it's hard to live in the state of now, which is really all we have is this moment right now. And so when I say I have no fear, just flow, I really mean it. I do. It doesn't mean that fear doesn't try to creep in occasionally, because there are a lot of things in my life that I could be fearful about right now. But I am choosing joy over fear. And as a result, I am experiencing joy in my life more than I ever have in the past. In fact, this past week, I got two beautiful messages. One from someone that I met while officiating a wedding that told me that I exuded joy and that everyone around me could see it. And it actually brought tears to my eyes because that person has no idea the struggles and the path that it took to get to this place of joy. And then the other was a kind message from someone I met at a meditation retreat that thanked me for my just being, my essence in the world. And, I'm not going to get into the details, but those messages just warmed my heart because I remember the days. I remember the days of fear and darkness when the devil or fear tried to take over my life. I remember the days of not having many people in my life because I hadn't made choices of people that stayed when things got tough. And boy, did things get tough. I made choices of people that benefited from my giving nature. I made choices to have people in my life that benefited from the fact that I would bend over backwards and do whatever it was that I had to do to keep them in my life. And as a result, they benefited. And I don't do that anymore. I don't. And so when I say I'm at a state of F around and find out, that doesn't mean that I want vengeance on anybody. I brought that up to a friend yesterday and we both giggled because the idea of me being an angry or vengeful person just is silly at this point in my life. What I mean when I say that is if you don't bring authenticity, if you want to create chaos in my life, then you're going to just lose me. That's it. You're going to lose my energy and I'm not going to be a part of your life anymore. And as far as I'm concerned, that's you're losing out because I am a blessing. I am a good person. I am joyful. I do bring a lot to the table. And I know that now. And I'm not afraid to say that because it doesn't come from a place of pride. It comes from a place of realness. It's taken me a long time to become this person. Those days when I lost everyone, those days when I literally laid on the floor and cried and, held a pillow and begged God, who was new to my life, to please fix it. Those days, fear took over. And so I started slowly changing my life. I listened to the law of attraction every day, all day long. And I realized recently I don't listen to that anymore. And it's not because I don't believe in it anymore. It's just I don't need to be reminded to speak life into my life. I do that every day. And so while I was on the floor and listening to the law of attraction and trying to figure out how to find what I wanted out of life, I created this idea that I was going to go on a journey to joy. And I wrote about it. And there were people in my life that would say, like, that's not realistic. And I would say it is realistic. I can have whatever I want, and I want joy. That's it. I want joy. I want joy to come to me and exude through me. That's my plan on being here. And part of that is by helping other people heal. I consider myself a healer. And that's because I have a lot of tools that I use, like foot baths and fasting and filtration. But I also have a tendency to trigger healing responses in people, to say things that trigger people into a healing situation. And sometimes that's hard because I try to speak words that are helpful. I understand that our words are spells, and so we need to be careful. And so that's what I'm asking you to do, is to think about the things that you say to yourself. Do you call yourself bad? Do you beat yourself up because you didn't do things that you said you were going to do? Do you anticipate being sick before it's even happened? Do you worry that somehow you're going to run out of money or that people in your life are going to disappear? I have very special people in my life right now that have decided to take a break from me. And there's a time where that would have devastated me. But I also know that I've treated those people with all the love that I have, and that the mistakes that I've made, I'm definitely willing to atone for them and breathe life into them. And I just patiently wait, knowing that that will change. I refuse to stay in a state of fear. I will not let false evidence appeal real in my life. I won't. I speak life into myself and those around me. I tell myself every day that I'm joyful. I tell myself every day that everything is working out for me. And it just continues to do that. I have so many blessings, so many blessings. And my life would drive the average person crazy. I think people look at me and wonder, how in the world does she stay so grounded and joyful when things around her just aren't figured out? And that's because I have faith. I do. And I have flow. So when I say no fear, just flow, that's what I mean. I mean, we are the ones that have dominion over our own lives. And so take your dominion back, speak life into you, and, get out there and spread light, have fun. Remember that there's a child in you and that all that child wants to do is play. And so be playful. Be joyful, exude it into the world, because you may not even know who you're impacting. And maybe those people will send you beautiful messages to remind you of the work that you've done. You are worth it. I keep saying that because I mean it. You are worth it. We're all worth it. We're here to live on a beautiful planet. So don't let the fear control you. Don't tune into it. Tune out and make joy in your life. Like and subscribe, please. I love that. Comment if you will. And have a beautiful day. It's all going to be okay. God's got us. Mwah.